Okay, so it's Thursday, 9/19. We're finishing up on unit circle. We did degrees yesterday for exact values, right? Right? We did. We learned how the unit circle was developed. It comes from 30, 60, 90, 45, 45, 90 triangles, relationships. Which coordinate does the sine belong to? The what? No. What's the second one? The y. Yeah. Which one does the cosine belong to? X. So the first thing that I would do on a sheet somewhere is I'd put X is cosine, Y is sine theta, right? I would write that down because it is very easy to make that mistake. And then I would look at tangent. Tangent is Y over X, sine over cosine, right? Yeah? Were you here yesterday? Huh? Yes, no. Were you here yesterday? Okay. All right. So I need you to give me the exact value of the cosine of 7 pi over 6. Yeah, you better get out that sheet. Okay. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to give me the exact value of cosine of 7 pi over 6. Go. So if we look on our unit circle, and we go to 7 pi over 6, which is really 210 degrees, right? And we look at the cosine. When the cosine happens to be what value? The what? X value. So that answer would be what? Thank you. Questions? So exactly what we did yesterday with degrees, we're only turning around and doing it with radians now. Okay? So let's do another. That's 21. Let's do 22. This one may throw a curveball at you, but I think you'll be okay. I'm going to show you how to attack this. Oh. Scared you? Scared you? Okay. What's the answer? It's too much talking for y'all not to know the answer. I mean, come on now. We did this. We took the quiz was over this last week. You can't go, I don't know what to do, because that you got too many tools in your toolbox to be able to figure out what this is. If you can't work in radians, what do you need to do? You better convert it to degrees. You understand? You got to figure out what that particular measurement is. I'm going to work in radians because you need to get more familiar with radians and how to manipulate them and stuff like that. They're going to come in fractions. And let's be honest, fractions scare the behootie out of you, right? Because I don't know. It's a lot of anxiety, I guess. So first things first, guys. From here all the way to there is how much? Okay, let's talk about radians. How much is that? 2 pi. Okay, if I go from here to there, that's another pi, right? So right there, I'm at 3 pi. Would y'all agree with that? Okay, all I did was half, whole, half, right? A whole revolution is 2 pi. A half of one is pi. So 2 and 1 is 3. Now, what would I need to make a fraction that would, let's see. I can't do that. The whole thing is 10 pi over 3, right? Correct? The whole thing. And then this is how much? 3 pi. Well, I need to make 3 pi as a fraction. And right now, it is as a fraction over 1, right? So how would I, or what would I need to do to 3 pi to make it be a fraction with a denominator of 3? Multiply top and bottom by what? And if I do that, 3 over 3 is what? 1. So I'm creating an equivalent fraction, correct? Okay. So what's 3 times 3? Okay, so I've got 9 pi over 3. Because if I reduced 9 pi over 3, guess what I would get? 3 pi, right? Any questions about that? So, what? Yeah, you are. You're right there. From here to there, that's really what I want, right? Yes? Okay. So, how much is this? How much is it from that x-axis down to here? Well, what about 10 pi over 3 minus who? What do you get? 1 pi over 3 or just pi over what? Right? 60 more than 180, right? So what is the 60 more than 180? What's the pi over 3 past? How much? It's 240 degrees, right? Which is 4 pi over what? 3. Why is it the denominator 3? Because that's what I'm dealing with, right? Yeah? Which equates to a 60. Come back and see me. It's a 60 degree. Pi over 3. Denominator is 3, you got a 60. If the denominator was 6, then you have a 30, right? Those are little things, little tricks you got to make sure you are aware of. So what would this be? What's the cosine of that? Huh? Is it 1/2? It can't be that. We're down here, right? Right? We're in the third quadrant, right? -1. Is it -1/2? Yeah? So that would be the cosine of 10 pi over 3 is -1/2. 10 pi over 3, that's my whole big angle, right? So what I did was I started here, and I went, okay, that's 1 full revolution, right? Which is how many radians? 2. If I go a half a revolution, how much is that? Oh, right here. We're 60 degrees past that. The cosine is x. How far am I past this? A pi over 3 past this mark right here, right? I'm 60 degrees past this, which would be 4 pi over 3. Okay? So if I go another pi past 9 pi over 3, I'm at 10 pi, which is really be 4 pi over 3. Okay? Yay or nay? Okay. All right. So that's 22. Do you see how I'm attacking this? We're not doing anything different than degrees, right? You need to try to figure it out in radians first. You're changing it over to degrees should be your last resort. And I'm not talking about after 5 seconds of struggling. I'm talking about after really giving it its due diligence. You're going to have to make sure that you can convert these radians or know these. I'm telling you, you put the work in now, it'll pay off later. Yes. Yeah, I'm fine with that. You good with that? Any more questions on this one? 24, here we come. We'll give you, I don't know, you need 45 seconds for that one? Yeah? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, listen. Now, we are, hey, how far this, or look, we're a 6, right? And we know that that is what degrees? It's part of the 30 degree sequence, right? So, you can do a couple things. You can count 1 or 2, 4, 5, right? 5. But listen, guys, 30 pi over 6 is how much? 5 pi, right? Correct? Are you comfortable in taking a whole number and making it a fraction? If you have a denominator that's that, could you make it back as a fraction that when you simplified it did come out to be that whole number? That's the ticket. That's what you got to see. So I know that really this right here is only how much? Really 1/6 pi, or pi over who? 6. More, right? 30 degrees more. So how much is, so what if this would be, let's see. This would have to be 7 pi over what? 6, right? Now, how did I know it was going to be 7 pi over 6? Well, 6 over 6 is how much? 1. What's another pi? Another 1/6. Oh, she just saw it. What's another 1/6 from 6 over 6? 7, 6. I know I had to, right? And look, guys, I'm only, there's not going to be another 6. Well, there is, but it would be simplified, right? You could have 2 6, which would be 1/3, right? So yeah, you could have 2 6s in a quadrant, right? Could you have, yeah, you could have 1/3 too. So what would be the the tangent of 7 pi over 6? Well, that would be what? What's our tangent calculation? Y over what? Sine over cosine, right? So what is that? Okay, y over x, right? Negative 1/2 over negative square root of 3 over what? 2. Right? Now, when you do, listen, do you see this right here that I'm circling? What is that? That is work. Okay? So here's the agreement that I'm going to make with you. As long as you show me that right there, then you can simplify it on the calculator. But I got to see that right there. Do you know why I have to see that? To make sure you understand that tangent is what? Sine over what? Cosine. Y over what? X. Fair enough? That'd be a fair deal? You don't show me that, you get no credit. Fair deal? All right. So what that should, if my brain is right, that's a negative square. No, that should be a positive square root of 3 over 3. Yes? So it comes out to be square root of 3 over what? 3. Yes or no? Can you do this in the calculator? Yeah, you do. You hit N over D. It's a fraction button. No, right above 7 is the fraction button. Yeah. So hit a fraction. Now, within that numerator, hit your fraction button again. You can do double fractions. And then go to the denominator and hit your fraction button again on that, right? how do I know that I'm at a 45-degree end? How do I know that I only have to look at that last leg if I understand the fraction? The bottom is 4, and I can only have one 45-degree in there, right? Does that make sense? Are you with me now? So it has to be the 7 pi over 4. Okay? Yes? Let me go here. Where's unit? Oh, I don't want that. I want this. Unit circle. No, I want that. Look. Here's the only denominator with a 4 that's over here, right? So it has to be 7 pi over 4. That's only 45 degree more, right? So I'm needing, what am I needing? Sine or cosine? Sine, which is what value? The y value, which would be who? Negative pi over square root, negative square root of 2 over what? 2. Questions? You better now? Yeah? You starting to see it now? Yes. Yes. Huh? Sign out. Okay. There was that one. Anybody got any more questions on this? Anybody? That was what, 23? Y'all just want to work? Yeah, all right. Okay. What I'll do is I'll just stand up here, and as you have problems that you're like, you ask. You got 20 problems on that. 10 on the front, 10 on the what? Back. Okay, that's what y'all want. I'll give you what you want. Ooh, bless you. Yeah. How about you do 26 and we'll check? How about that? Yeah, while y'all are working, I'll put it up in Google Classroom. How's that? Here. Look. There you go. Hey, look. So you just tell me which one I need to go to. I'll show you the answer. Okay? Yeah. All right. Good. Look. It was a third pass who? So it had to be what? 60. No. Yeah. It had to be 60, right? Yeah. All right. Okay, guys, look right here. Hey, you need to look at this because this is very important. This is 5 pi over 2, so it puts it back here, right? What are the coordinates for this? 0, what? 1. What is the tangent? Tangent is what? Y over x. It's really tangent of theta, but y over x, right? 1 over 0, ladies and gentlemen. What do you have when you have a 0 in the denominator? It's no, ma'am. Undefined. Yes, you have improper fraction because the top's bigger than the bottom, right? But look at the bottom. How can you have one part of nothing? You can't. It's undefined. So listen at me. Hey, when it falls on a quadrant, an x or y axis, right? You're looking at either an answer of 1 or, no, sorry, let me go back. You're looking at an answer of 0 or undefined, because 0 divided by 1 would still be what? Yeah, so you either got 0 or undefined, right? Okay, this one would be undefined.